Hello everyone and welcome back to class. It's nice to see everyone here today. Today we're going to continue taking a look at Google Sheets, and today we're going to be focusing on how to use the filter feature as well as how to insert data validations, and we're going to close off with how to set alternating colors to your spreadsheets. You'll notice that today I have a spreadsheet up here. This is the log I keep from my car of gas fill-ups because I'm crazy. I don't know. I get it from my parents. Don't ask. But it also serves really good for our purposes today. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is how to set up filters and how to use the filter function. So if we come up over here to our toolbar, scroll all the way towards the right side, we're going to see a thing that kind of looks like a funnel or a triangle with a thing coming off the end of it. I don't know. Something weird. If you hit that, it turns on the filters. And you'll notice that now at the top of each column, I have these three little green lines in the shape of a triangle. Those are your filter settings. And they work essentially how you would assume they work. If I click on it, I have different filters that I can utilize to show specific information in a column. So for example, if I want to take a look at all the times I filled up at Lukoil, I can hit that and I can see in 2019 I only had one fill up there. If I want to see 3 of them, I can filter and I can see all the instances in which I got gas at those stations specifically. You do have the option to select all or clear all depending on what you want to do. So I'm going to select them all again, and this way it puts us back into our full spreadsheet. Another filter you can use is a conditional filter. And by that you go to filter by condition, and let's say I want to see when were my fill-ups less than 22 miles per gallon. I can come down here, I can choose less than, I can type in 22, and if I hit go, I will see that there are 3 instances where I was actually below 22 miles per gallon while driving. Mostly at the start and end of the year, which is kind of strange. But that becomes another filter option that you can utilize, and I can set that to none and it'll go away. You'll notice a couple other filter options you have here. You can filter by color. This could be really helpful if you were using text, conditional formatting, sorry, brain slip there, which allows you to have cells look differently or act differently to identify them if they meet certain conditions that you set. So you can set like if certain things are above or below a certain value, if it's a certain brand, there'll be a certain color, things like that, which becomes really helpful. Also in your conditional formatting, in case you want to see, it does allow you to filter by dates. So if you're trying to limit something into within a certain block of time, you can filter that way. As well as custom filter formulas, but we're not going to get there. I very rarely have needed to use them. More often than not, simply using values is enough for most of your filtering. You'll also see that you can change your sorting alphabetically, or smaller to greater, or inverse, largest to smallest, Z to A. Just a couple fun things with filters that allow you to get a little bit more out of it. If you're trying to find students who scored below a certain value on an assessment, you can filter that way and so forth, which really makes it very helpful. The next thing I want to take you guys through, though, is how to use what's called data validation. Now, this is not like checking the data to make sure it works. This is setting up pre-established values for certain things. This would be like if you wanted to use a checkbox or a drop menu, things like that in your spreadsheet. So let's take a look at my brand listings over here. And I see that I've got a lot of brands, and they're more or less the same. And it'd be really annoying to have to type it in, and I know that you can, it'll autofill. If I start typing something in, like if I start typing in Costco, it'll autofill. But that could be tedious, and it's something you may not want to type 100 times. And it could have like Costco 1, Costco 2, Costco 3, in which case typing it in each time I have to type in the whole thing anyway. We can use data validation to help eliminate that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this whole list, and I do this through right clicking, and I do right click, and if I go all the way to the bottom, I see a thing that says data validation. I click that, and it opens up the data validation window. Now you'll see it gives me a cell range that I'm choosing, and it's showing me a list from range option, basically meaning what criteria, what am I using in these cells. And you'll see that there's a list of items, and you can list them all separately on your own. If you've already made a list on another sheet or within that same sheet, you can do a list from the range. If you want it to be of numerical value, you can set that, and you can set rules for what those values have to be. You can set it to be text that has to contain certain words. You can set it to be a date, making sure it's a valid date. The custom formula can be fun if you have an understanding of how it works, but we're not going to go into that in this. And then there's the checkbox option. By default, checkboxes are true and false. If you want to, you can change those values of whether them being checked or unchecked to whatever you would want. Yes, no, present or absent. That's up to you. It's just important to keep an eye on what they do and what the values are. Sorry about that. My phone was beeping. But let's go to this list of items here, and I'm just going to enter the order you put them in is only important because it's going to be the order that they appear with on the list. So if you're trying not to scroll through a lot of things, I recommend starting with the most common thing first. I think I got all of them, and if I hit save, you'll now see that each one of these has a little drop arrow next to them, and I can click it and see all my options. I can come further down, and again, all of them are there, and I just have to click on the one I would like to use, and it fills in the blanks for me. If you're concerned, what if like it's one time I don't go there? Maybe I went to, I don't know, a delta. I can type it in. It does give me a little warning there that says, hey, this wasn't on the list. And if that's the case, I can go into my data validation. Again, I'd have to select that section of information, and I can add delta to it and save it, and you'll see that that little red triangle does in fact go away on its own. But that's how you can do data validation. Checkboxes are fantastic for attendance because this way you're not scrolling through, you're just checking yes or no. I set that up for one of the programs I run at my school after school for the teachers to take attendance. Last thing is alternating colors, because as much as I love plain white on or black on white, I mean it's fantastic. Color wise, it's so classic. It's annoying to look at. And follow along because they're all the same color, it's all the same data. If they're all squished together, you really can't read it well. So what I like to do is I like to select the whole thing just to make sure I know I'm getting everything done. If you go to Format, if you scroll down, you'll see alternating colors. You click alternating colors, and you can take the specific information. Does your section have a header, or does it not have a header? Do you have a footer, meaning is the bottom line different from the rest? Mine is. And then you just choose the color scheme that you want, and you can even make your own custom color scheme if you prefer. So I'm going to go with this nice little pink one, and you can see it'll actually preview it for you. And I'm going to hit done. And now I can see that everything is now alternating colors and alternating bands, making it a little bit easier to read. It also looks like a candy cane, which are delicious. But that covers the topics we want to go through today. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to start looking at our basic formulas. Formulas can get very complex, so we're going to start easy and work our way up to some of the more advanced things. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Nice seeing you all today. Everybody, class dismissed. Bye.